Hello everyone and welcome to Connoisseur Speed Tier 3. My name is Thomas, next to me is Lewis and we're here in Austria for the Austrian Grand Prix. Lewis, happy you're here in the commentary box with me as always. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good, thanks. We're back and in Austria for another round of Contest Speed events. So yeah, looking forward to it. Austria's always an exciting one. The DRS train is legendary around here. So and also those first laps can be quite interesting as well, particularly into turn 3. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, 100% overtaking shouldn't be a problem around here. A lot of opportunities going into turn 1, turn 3 it actually is, turn 4, and just overall the DRS straights around here are making it very easy to get past your opponent unless you're in the, like you mentioned, famous DRS terrain. We've got a few replacements in, but yeah, pretty much a full grid, only 2 seats left, so you absolutely love to see it, and hopefully these guys can put up a really good show for us tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So, got a few people on hot laps. It seems Jack Hawkey is on one. He might be unless the Mercedes Sidegate, is he on an out lap or a? I think Sidegate might be the first one to do a lap. I might be wrong. There might be someone else ahead of him, but he looks coming through now the end of sector 2. And if I go, I'm going to go on board with him. Not the quickest of laps so far, Sidegate, and a bit of understeer. The track's going to be at its slippiest right now anyway. And these 2 corners here are so tricky. Because you want to really commit to them and you can gain a lot of time, at the same time it's so easy to be invalidated. He took it nice and easy. A 1 minute 4.7, that should be easily beaten, in fact it has already, by Jack Hawkey.
Comes then through the last corner. He is on mediums from what I can see, and he puts in a 105.2. He's looking to maybe get into the top 10 on mediums to start on different compounds, or he's just saving up his free set of softs until the end of the session. Charlie put in a 105.2 as well. He was on softs, and it's waiting now for everyone to put in their first banker lap. And after that they can build and try to go even quicker.
So around here, it's normally a 1-stop in the previous game. I didn't see yesterday's race, so I don't know whether it's a 2-stopper. Is it a 2-stopper or is it still a 1-stopper around here usually?
Yeah, I would expect a 1-stopper around here because you lose a lot of time going into the pits as they are flying by when you're limited to 60 miles an hour or 80 miles an hour or 80 kilometers an hour. I'm not really sure how quick you're allowed to go in this pit lane, but yeah, you lose a lot more time compared to Zandvoort. We saw 2 weeks ago, or
Yeah.
1 week ago actually. Zandvoort was last week. Yeah, you saw it. You could easily go for it 2, maybe even 3 stops with safety cars and all that kind of stuff. You definitely don't want to do it here. So unless we see like 4 or 5 safety cars around here, it's probably gonna be just a 1-stop.
It can happen. My race last week was unreal until it got abandoned halfway. Like, I had a drive-through penalty, and yeah, the pit lane's so short around Zandvoort. I think I only lost like 12 seconds. It was like, oh, okay. It wasn't really as much of a penalty as normal. Like a track like Singapore, for example, you lose 25 seconds or 20 seconds in a pit. But yeah, the safety car bug really rigged its ugly head yet last week. Hopefully, it's sorted this time round. But I expected not to be as bad. This track is a little bit more forgiving, more runoff, and not quite as technically. Well, it's not as technical, really. Apart from, I'd say the last 2 corners are the hardest ones to get really nailed, and maybe that middle part of the lap because of the flow. But yeah, it's a little bit more time on the throttle, shall we say? So far we got Marina. He's in a 1 minute 4.6 on the medium tyre, so he's only 4 tenths slower than our current provisional pole lap. Oh, it's been collision.
Ooh, Tichy and Hilly with a collision, and it results in a 5-place grid penalty for Hilly. And I think that is, yeah, in the last corner, I think that's where we can see Tichy going very slowly. So, don't know what happened between those two. I was on board with Liam, who is about to go onto the line, and he puts in a 104.4 just in front of his teammate. But on the softs, and look how many people are in the 104.4. You love to see it around this track.
Yeah, this track is so close because of how short. It's one of the shortest tracks on the on the calendar, and yeah, you're always going to get those super close times. We've been getting them anyway this season. I feel like Tier 3 has been super close in quali. But yeah, I reckon this will be easily a race or a quali session where 3/10 will cover the top 5, if that really. I reckon 3/10 could easily cover nearly the top 10. Unless we get someone out there who just does an absolute bonkers lap. It's just going to be any little bit of time can make a huge difference to your grid position.
Yep, and it's very interesting to see whether people are going to go for the Stumpy puts in a 104.1 on mediums. That's an impressive lap time from the Alfa Romeo driver. What I wanted to say is it's going to be very interesting to see if people are going to go for that little bit higher downforce setup to manage through sector 2 and a little bit of sector 3, or are they just going to go full out with the straight line speed and maybe lose a little bit of time through sector 2. We will have to wait and see. You can definitely see it in the race who's running higher or lower wings compared to the rest. But a really good lap from Stampy, and it's going to be very interesting to see if that could keep him inside the crucial top 10.
Yeah, still a long way to go in this quali section. To be honest, looking at, let's have a look on the lowdown now, where we've got 9 minutes 40 to go. So a lot of people yet to do those lap times. Obviously, I'm guessing those guys are people that have invalidated already in their first runs. But yeah, look, they're all in the 1 minute 4s. It's 6/10 between first and 12th.
Yeah.
And there's a few. Dan's been doing quite a few laps on the medium tyre, I noticed, which is a bit risky because if he doesn't improve on his soft, he'll have the stops. I guess he will be outside the top 10 at that time, but yeah, it's. I think he's just maybe doing a little bit of race simulation. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Dan, but yeah,
it's quite a good time. 1 minute 4.7 on a heavy fuel load on mediums. He's pitting now. He's got to make sure you go to the right hand side of the track early on. You've got to take that pit entry right round there, otherwise you will get a penalty. But I've just got to add in Shane. Shane must have disconnected, unless it says he's in here, but I'll just send him another invite.
Class. Yeah, currently on board with Bama. He showed some really good pace over the last 2 weeks. Hasn't set a time yet, but he invalidated the last one. I saw that. And he's currently on the mediums going through sector 2. So let's see what he can do. He's put in a 44.6. And he's actually doing... I can't see his sector times, so we just have to wait until he crosses the line through the last 2 corners. He goes pit entry on the right hand side through the last corner. Don't run wide, he doesn't, and he goes on towards the line, and it's gonna be P5 with 104.3 for Bama on the mediums. In P5 it's looking quite good for the Mercedes driver.
Yeah, that's it. Stumpy though, yeah, that time 1 minute 4.1 on the medium, that is very good time from Stumpy. Stumpy's obviously decided he's woke up on the right side today, because that's a really good lap. Is he going to do another lap on the soft? He's in the pits at the moment.
Well, he's probably going to do what the top drivers do in real life as well. Go out on those softs at the end of the session. See if you need to improve. And if you know that you will still have pole position, or at least if you're happy with the position you're in on those mediums, you just don't improve your lap time on the softs.
So Saigate is on a hot lap, I believe. Oh no, he's done 2 laps already. I'm sure he's... Unless it seems like he's going for it. He's a 10th down though. So, but this last sector it wasn't that quick in the previous run. So he might be able to make up the time.
Tichy invalidated once again. Is he gonna go on? Does he have enough fuel in the car to go again? I think he does. With 40% ERS left, should be able to still make it. Oh, and it runs away coming out of turn 1. So that is lap time over once again with 6 minutes on the clock. He has to come back into the pits, put on a new set of softs and go again. And it's not been Tichy's session so far.
Yeah, the Alpine of Liam almost lost it. You've got to be so careful with the curves on this game, and the curves can suck you in.
And here's two spell with pole position. So Stampy dropped down to P2 on those mediums. Two spot improved on the softs to a 104.0, and here comes Shane on towards the line, and he puts it up into P2 104.1 as well, so that Stampy drops down 2 positions in only the time span of like 30 seconds. And is he gonna drop more positions? He's currently on his outlap.
Jamie James is on a hot lap, 2 corners to go. Oh, he's gone in tight. He went in too tight in that curve and he's aborted his lap. That's going to leave him with 1 more run to go.
Jamie James with some brilliant performances over the last couple of weeks. He took victory in Canada, he took victory in Zandvoort, and he really is on the run in this season. So let's see what he can do now. He won't be happy with that P7, he's looking to improve on that one. But yeah, we saw it. Unfortunately for him, he invalidated his last lap. Currently on board with Dan, who's on a fresh set of softs. He did 5 laps on the mediums. Through sector 2 he goes. And let's see if the Ferrari driver can improve. He's at 10th down on his previous lap time, currently in P14. As Danny Boy puts in a 103.9, the lap times are getting quicker and quicker, and then he goes into the pits. He says, no, it's not going to be on this set of tires. I need to come in, put on a new set, and have another go.
Yeah, never going D. Jack Hawkey is... Oh, he's invalidated. So he's trying to do a run on the medium tyre to see if he can improve on his soft tyre run, but no, that is not going to happen, unfortunately for him. Stumpy is on a hot lap on the soft, and he is coming towards the last 2 corners.
Coming towards the last 2 corners for Stampy indeed, and he ran very much on the curb and runs wide again. Yeah, you saw it coming. It was the mistake, missing the apex in the second to last turn, and then having to correct it through the last corner, and then it just shows how difficult of a track it is to keep it within the white lines, and that's an invalidation as we've seen a lot before already in this session. And it's going to be the question for Stampy: are you going to come in to change to a new set of tires, or are you going to do a little bit of a cool down lap and go again on the next one?
This is the thing, it's you go all in, put your you put your chips down in those last 2 corners. You got to hit it spot on, and he almost got away with it. The second to last corner he ran a bit wide, but it didn't invalidate him, and then he turned a little bit too early for that final turn, and he was probably inches out of getting away with it, but unfortunately he's gonna struggle to get back out in time. 2.5 minutes on the clock. Yeah,
I think these guys have a little bit more time than it actually shows on our screen, and as Marina invalidates through the second to last turn. But yeah, it's still gonna be a very close call for Stampy. Marina on those mediums, he will try and go again. Let's see if there is someone. Tichy, he hasn't set a lap time yet, and he invalidated his last one. So all the pressure is on his last flying lap. How well is Tichy gonna do with the pressure? Has to line it up. He's got a Ferrari and a Alpha Tauri behind, but it's all good. He doesn't get in the way, and he is free to put in a lap himself. Let's go on board with him. Keeps you within the white lines this time through turn 1. And how good is his sector 1 split? 15.9. Actually have a little bit of a look on the test system. The 15.9 is pretty much the same as the purple sector run from Danny Boy. So it's looking really good for Tichy. He's trying to get that pole position, but is he actually gonna do it? He's got that extra pressure from not having a lap time on the board yet, so he needs to watch out. He can't push all the way like these other guys can. As Jackard, he puts it up into P2 with thousands in front. Oh, Shane as two-spell improves to pole position, so his brother on pole position. What can Tichy do?
Yeah.
2 corners left. Don't run it wide. Don't cut it, which he doesn't.
Nice.
On towards the line. He's definitely gonna put in a lap, but it's only gonna be P12 with 104.3.
Yeah, shame for Tichy there. We're now getting to the the tasty parts of this event, and Danny Boy is on his lap. He's just starting to go in hard, so that'll be interesting to see what he can do. He's so close to 2-spell as Jack goes P2.
So, oh, K-Mark loses it through the very long left-hander at the beginning of sector 3. Too much on the curb, and that's it, especially on this game. And K-Mark is not going to be able to put in a lap time.
I'll tell you what though, Stumpy, nearly 4 tenths up on the first sector. That's only 1 corner. Stumpy's massively up, and now he's coming towards the end. Got 1 more corner after this to go. It'll be interesting to see what his time is. But he could absolutely smash his previous time of 1:04.1. We're going to get to the split very shortly. He is, it's only 2 tenths now, so he had a really good second sector on the mediums. It's all down to this.
Yeah, he's definitely looking to get that pole position.
Oh, it's good.
Yes.
It's very
really
good.
Lap.
He's going to be happy with that. He smashed it. 13.8. Wow. Now it's 2-spell's turn. He's 200ths up. Oh, this is close. He needs a tempo.
Gonna snatch pole position from Stumpy. Stumpy probably thinks he has it, but it's 2-spell. The Wizard, is he gonna improve even more? Oh, he's not. He lost out by half a 10 on his previous lap time, so no improvement for 2-spell. Is there anyone else going for a quicker lap? Maybe Blaze. No, he invalidated. Dan is onto the grass, so I don't think anyone is on for an improvement.
No. I think that's it.
This is it, and that means that Stumpy is the one on pole position. With 2-spell in P2, we've got an OG Cos front row with Jack and Danny Boy in row 2, and Jack and Shane in P5 and P6. Surprising top 6, but also a very close top 6, and I can't wait for this race to start because it's looking incredibly close.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's looking Stumpy 2-spell. They're wily old foxes. They're well experienced, carrying up front row. I think Tichy and Dan in particular, in the end, just didn't do. He must have invalidated both his soft runs. And you got people like Tichy as well. Dan P13. They can come along. Jamie James hasn't had as a competitive quality as he's been at the beginning of the season, very much up towards the front end. A lot of people I think are going to be, should be further up than they actually are.
Yeah, 100%. But I don't think this is a track where, you don't want to start further down than you normally are anyway. But if there is a track where you can at least make up for it, it's this one. They will be trying to overtake as much as possible. But like we've said, it all depends on how much straight line speed or how much wings everyone is running, and how big that DRS train is. Because if Stumpy is gonna lead a DRS train with 4 or 5 people in, good luck, Jimmy James, of overtaking those people with the DRS. You will have to do it in sector 2, and that is not an easy sector to make some overtakes in. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a very interesting race, and hopefully for the guys who want to make up a lot of positions, it's going to be a race with a lot of drama, because otherwise it's gonna be a DRS fest.
Yeah, that's it. It's going to be well, it's a bit like situations you get at other circuits where, because you've got 3 DRSs next to each other consecutively, and it's pretty much in all the places that you can overtake in, you just can't do anything about it. But with strategy and different setups, tyre wear, that does open things up a little bit. There'll be people that are pitting early, so yeah, I think there will be rooms for undercuts and overcuts and safety cars to switch that all up.
Yeah, 100%. It's also going to be very interesting to see the people outside of the top 10, if they're gonna do some alternative strategy, or are they gonna stick to those shots? Because if you miss the DRS to your opponent in front, it's going to be a very long race. If you can keep up on a different compound, then you're in for a really good result. So are people gonna gamble? Are they sure enough they will have the pace on, for example, the mediums compared to the soft? That's also going to be a very interesting one, this race. The 2 minutes are over, and it is formation lap time here in Austria. So let's get the detail up on screen. We've got Bama, Tichy, Marina, Blaze, Max, Charlie and Healy all on mediums, with Dan and Hasmania the only one outside the top 10 opting to go for those softs. Of course everyone inside the top 10 is on softs as they qualified on that tire. Yeah, interesting one. Dan will probably kick himself for the fact he has not chosen mediums as well, because it's going to be very hard for him to make those softs work, and he will have to pit earlier than those around him.
Yeah, absolutely. And this, just looking in the chat as well, it's broken the TAS. Tebow said it's broken the TAS, so I handle like I could. Unless that's old chat. This is an old chat. I don't know. I've only got three messages there. But yeah, in terms of predictions, I reckon you could be looking at. I do fancy 2-spell being in that front row. Clean driver doesn't get penalties. I'm going to fancy a 2-spell. Maybe a. I'm going to go Danny Boy P2 and Stumpy P3. Yeah, I'll go Stumpy P3.
I'm gonna go for a really strong race pace from Jimmy James, and I think he's gonna take another race win with Stumpy in P2, and 2-spell is gonna take P3 on penalties as always. Let's go for that one.
Right, and so it does on the predicted pit stop strategy. It does do I don't know why, a 2-stopper strategy if you start on the softs. Soft, medium, soft, but I don't know if those guys will pick that ultimately.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to be the right strategy for today.
If it's green flag all the way, then yeah, definitely it won't be.
That is something we will have to focus on for later tonight. We've got 5 red lights. It's waiting for the glitch. It's the 21st of September with Stumpy on pole position, and away we go for the Austria Grand Prix. It's a really good start from Stumpy, it's a really good start from 2-spell as well, but Jack goes round the outside with a lagging 2-spell, but it's all good. So the Red Bull goes up into P2, and Danny Boy now is looking to get past the Ferrari as well. Let's actually go on board with him. Is he gonna go for the move down the inside, or is he gonna be patient? You have a look round the outside together with the Red Bull. And he goes through 2-spell who spins, and I think that's probably because of his connection.
Yeah, there's a few laggy. I saw a bit of a laggy movement. And McLaren of Shane having to defend from Jamie James. Heavy fuel, cold tyres. It's always very tricky to find your braking point initially, but Shane does it well, keeps Jamie James behind for now. But there goes two spell. Oh, I saw a spinner, and it's Stumpy. Stumpy spun off as well. I don't know if it was contact, but Stumpy's at the back of the grid as well now. So the two front row drivers are now dead last, P18 and P19. Unreal.
After only half a lap, we've lost our two leaders, I should say, and that means that Jack, if I'm not mistaken, his debut is now into P1 with Danny Boy in P2 and Jack in P3, who's been put under pressure by Shane in the McLaren. They go side by side up towards turn 3. Who is going to come out on top? Shane has to go the long way round the outside he goes. They both brake late, they both make contact, and Jack pushes him almost off, and Jamie James is trying to pick up the pieces. Still side by side they go. Shane seems to have much better straight line speed, and he gets in front. That Shane up into P3 and Jack drops down to P4. Yeah,
it's really massive situation going on now with these guys. I can't believe it. And Liam Staff has pitted, so he must have got wing damage early on. But what drama in this early race. I don't. There goes two of my top 3 predictions in half a lap. I can't believe it. I'm literally commentator's curse at its very best there. But that means to say Jack is ahead. Danny Boy P2, Shane P3, Jack Carty, and the two hasses of Jack Carty and Jamie James. Oh, we got yellow. Oh, who's that? Stumpy again. Oh, it's gone from bad to worse, or it's gone from worse to disastrous for Stumpy, and those softs are going to be overheated. Yeah, unreal. And look at another something I noticed is Charlie's down at point 16 as well, fighting. Oh, we got a bit of a squabble with Max, and I think it's Hilly. Hilly's involved in that as well. Good little battle, and a help of DRS, Max and Blaze. It's Max and Blaze there.
Max, he gets in front, yeah, brilliant move from Max, worked his way through, and he's now up into P13, but he's got some catch up to do, 2.6 to teach in front, so there won't be any DRS for him, and he will have some people behind with DRS, and he has to hold them off if he wants to gain. Oh! Well, say goodbye to holding them off. He lost it through the second to last corner. And he can box immediately for a new set of tyres, because those tyres are absolutely gone.
We're dangerous. I think we're talking about people and it gets bad. I think tonight might be that night. But look at this, Jack is under pressure, and Danny Boy and that lot, they're all going to have the DRS. He gets a really good exit, probably help with a little bit of ERS squirt. So he's able to stay ahead of Danny Boy. And that's it really, as long as he saves the ERS round here where you can't overtake, and then use just enough to know that you're not going to get attacked into turn 3. It's a little bit harder for the guys to make the move into turn 4, especially if you get a good run out of that turn 3 corner.
Yeah, the job for Jack has to be getting the best exit possible out of turn 1 and out of turn 3 to defend your position. I think anywhere else he should be able to stay in front. He pulled away by 7 tenths. Now he put in the fastest. No, that's not the fastest level of race. That's a different Jack. But yeah, he's doing a really good job of holding Danny off. And I think Danny has to focus a little bit more from Shane behind, who's been put under pressure by Jack. Now he put in the fastest lap of the race, and now he's looking to try and get past Shane. Round the outside he goes, and that is Jack up into P3, and we've got Shane without a helmet. So we've seen it a couple of times before, but now the McLaren's got hit with the helmet syndrome.
Yeah, what a nut, forgetting his helmet before the beginning of the race. I love that glitch. But yes, a great late break from Jack and Jack Carty, because we've got 2 Jacks in the top 3 right now. Yeah, Jack Carty looking really good in that P3, and already lining up Danny Boy.
They're not making it any easier for us with 2 Jacks in the. We've got now Danny Boy and Dan. We've got Jack and Jack. Like we've got Jamie James. It's like they were trying to let us make a mistake, but we're all good for now. We're sharp and we're good to go. Shane ran wide coming out of turn 1, and it is allowing Jamie James to get past. He needs to make use of these tiny mistakes from people in front to get past, and Jamie James does. He's up into P4, and he's got his teammate in front who should be able to get out the way when Jamie James asks.
And Dan, meanwhile, still progress from Dan. He's P10, so those softs have helped him. I think that was his fault, because it can work if you're in a position where you don't think, on pace you should be better. It is sometimes better to go, in my experience anyway, to go on a softer tyre, because at least then it's easier for you to overtake on. Yes, you're going to wear out quicker, but if you're on the same tyre strategy as everyone around you, you've got to fight them on track, whilst at least for a soft tyre you've got the advantage. It should be easy to overtake them guys. And then, you're on a different strategy, you're doing your own thing, you can go at your pace because you're able to pass those slower cars. So, in this instance, it has worked for Dan. And also it opened up, obviously there was an early safety car, he could have always then changed, got rid of that soft tyre. And he is catching up Kmart, who has a penalty. Ran a little bit deep into turn 1, but these guys, Sygate ran wide. Marina is trying to line him up on those medium tyres. I think he can get him here. Sygate's got no juice left. Down the inside. Squeeze him out. Oh, give him a bit of room.
Yeah, it's still side by side. It's going to turn into the inside for Sygate, but he has to give up. Marina with much more grip on those mediums compared to the old softs from Sygate, were slowly getting worse and worse, and now K-Mark is all over the back of that Mercedes, and he feels the pressure from Dan behind, like you mentioned. Dan already up by 6 positions. He's done really well on those softs. Sygate has had enough of those tires. He goes into the, oh no, it's K-Mark, I'm sorry. K-Mark has had enough of those softs. He goes into the pit, so that allows Dan up into P9 and Hasmania up into P10.
Yeah, it's Charlie and Hilly had a moment. Unfortunately, that means Hilly has had to pit for wing damage, I believe. So, unfortunate for them. Oh, look at this though. Jack is right behind Danny Boy.
And Hasmania and Dan are having a little bit of a fight. They go side by side up towards turn 4. Who's going to come out on top? Who's going to brake later than the other? Dan brakes very late as he makes contact with Hasmania, and they're still side by side. But Dan should be able to stay in front, although Hasmania got a better exit. Dan goes very deep into turn 5, but he gets the job done and he stays in front. Brilliant battle between those two as they fighting it out for the last couple of points in this race.
I think the Aston's pitting, and he is. Danny Boy is in the pits. Wasn't the tidiest pit entries though. May have lost a little bit of time, but he is the first one to blink, so he is going to try and get the undercut. The undercut is strong round here, remember, so he is looking to get ahead of Jack Corky. And now the others are going to have to respond.
Yeah, because of Danny going into the pits. Now Jack doesn't have any DRS anymore, so he needs to do it on pure straight line speed. He's got Jamie James behind. Is Jamie James going to go for the move with the DRS to get past his team? I think he is. Down the inside he goes. And that is Jamie James now up into P2, I wanted to say, but his teammate is not giving up that easily. But he sticks his nose in, but they give each other the space. You know it's gonna end up in tears. No, it's not gonna end up in tears. Brilliant battle between the two teammates. You would expect them to take it on a little bit easier, but Jamie James is past and he's now up into P2 with his teammate down to P3. But Bama is in a really good position. P4 on those mediums. It's looking like a really good race from the Mercedes driver.
And look at Jack he's checked out. He's 2 seconds clear. I know they were squabbling a little bit, but this shows you maybe Jack's setup allows him to push a little bit harder on the soft tyres. And like you say, Bama now with the medium, is equaling on the pace, and he's only going to be faster each lap as these guys on the soft. The medium tyre's not that bad degradation-wise. The soft does degrade quite severely through its life towards the end. So, particularly in the traction zones, slowing down as Jack runs a little bit deep. It just struggled a little bit there. And here we go. None of them pitted. So, normally the pit window is around on the softs lap 12, 13, 14. Or a penalty. It's around that sort of, so Danny actually pitted really
virtual
early.
Safety car, and that is because of Stumpy.
And these
Lost
guys
it coming out of turn
behind.
3, and we
Bama's
see
pitting.
him losing it again.
Bama, I don't know why Bama's pitting on the medium. That's a bit, I don't get it. He's going to go onto the hard tyres.
Yeah, so that means he's definitely trying to make it till the end. This could be a really good call, to be honest, because he's not gonna lose as much time as those guys who are staying out now. He still comes out in front of Shane. Who went on medium, so he has to stop again. If he can stick with someone in front who's on mediums, then I think Bama has maybe made the strategy call for the win here.
Yeah, as long as there isn't a safety car again later on in this before the other guys pit.
True, yeah, but think now with that virtual safety car coming out, check Jamie and check. That sounds funny. With Jack James and Jack as DRS got enabled again, safety car should be over, although it still shows yellow on our screen.
Yeah.
And it's green now. Okay, yeah, good to go. I was afraid of the glitch again. But yeah, with those 3 guys still having to make their stop on those soft tires, Mama is looking. Oh! Charlie! Yes! I saw as well Charlie losing it where K-Mark lost it in qualifying. And I think we will see him boxing this lap, because those mediums are not gonna be feeling any good whatsoever. No, he stays out.
Careful. As to spell as...
Oh, and he loses it again. Yeah, you said it. Be careful. You know those tires are overheating. And he is just, not listening. He should listen more to us, Stu Lewis.
The wise commentators were like the noble advisors of racing on these games. Well, actually, no, you don't want to take my advice. Take Thomas's advice.
Yeah, well, I'm struggling in tier 1. So I've been left last week, so don't listen to me.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. We saw Jack having a little bit of a fight with Marina. See him talking about Marina, picks up 3 seconds coming through the last turn.
Yeah, Marina's flying on those mediums now. Obviously, it's not surprising those softs are getting towards the end of their life. Still not pit window is now activated, so it is lap 12, lap 13. So expect these guys to pit.
Marina, yeah, with the DRS, easy job. Jack knows that on those softs he's got no chance compared to Marina on those mediums, and it's better for his race to just give up the position, try to follow Marina as long as possible, and maybe he can close back in to his teammate in front, and they can have a fight again. Let's see yellow through sector 3, that's the teammate of Marina, that is Liam.
Scott going again.
Who lost it, but yeah, he got on the way again.
Oh, I don't have the times now, for some reason. The gaps rather.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I was just about to look at what how far Danny Boy was from the rest of. So Danny Boy must be going on a 2-stopper, obviously, because he's on mediums. The others maybe are trying to stretch a 1-stop. Well, they must be. Stretching to try and get to the mediums, aren't they? I'm guessing. Rather than doing softer hards, maybe they're trying to do a softer medium. Because you should be able to do it now. Lap 14 on those 14 laps on the soft.
Okay, Mark lost it coming out of the last turn. Is this gonna cause a safety car? Yes, it is.
And that's exactly what I was thinking Bama, the strategy was going to work for Bama as long as there wasn't a safety car before those softs needed to pit. And unfortunately, the soft runners who have yet to pit and the medium runners ahead of him have just had their golden ticket as well. So it's going to pretty much equal out. The only thing Bama does have on his side is the fact he did put fresh hards on. It's not a very quick tyre, but it will be still probably was quicker than the soft runners were doing. So it's going to be close.
Yeah, and to be fair, look at this, because the safety car is out. They are all going into the pits now. Are they gonna be slow enough in the pits to allow Bama to get in front? Because if he does,
Bama's second last corner
still
already.
make it work, because here comes Jack. He's out of the pit box now. Obama should be overtaken.
Yeah, they're overtaking him.
Yeah, so it's Shane and Bama now in the lead. With Bama definitely doesn't have to stop. Shane probably has to.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna be from the lead to the lead after the pit stop. He will be in P3, Jack.
Yeah, the only problem is for Bama is he is on the hards and those mediums are going to be quicker. And those mediums, to be fair, it's pushing it. Ooh,
Wait,
the safety car.
did they overtake the...
Yeah, they've overtaken the safety car. I don't know why.
It is very
It's been given the green light, but I don't know why the safety car is letting them through.
Don in the chat who says show us time gaps. I think I am, mate. I don't know what you mean. Maybe you mean gap to leader, if that is what you are asking for. Here it is. Yeah, this is the time. These are the gaps to everyone. And I have that one on all the time.
So, with the weird safety car where it's just decided to park the bus between turns 3 and 4, it's allowing all these guys to go full speed. Yeah, so we've got Shane. Will Shane try and stretch it? Because, I mean, if he was going to not do a two-stop, sorry, if he was planning to do a two-stop, he would have been better to have pitted on the safety car. Yeah, okay, he would have lost track position, but it still would have been a free pit stop compared to stopping in the green flag conditions. So I'm guessing that Shane wants to try and make it last on a one-stop. The only reason why it makes sense for him to stay out and not pit during the safety car.
Yeah, it's well, looking at it this way, he's only on 4 lap all the tires. It's not that big of a difference. But the thing is, if there is, well, I assume everyone will stay together like we saw the first couple of laps in this race before the pit stops. So, coming towards the end of the race, saying there is not gonna be a safety car anymore. Those guys will have 4 lap fresher tires. That could maybe be the difference in the last couple of laps, as there is a McLaren going into the pits. That is Max. Like, if there is not gonna be a safety car anymore in this race, maybe these guys who just pitted will have the edge. But good luck overtaking in a DRS train. It's going to be a very tricky one. It all depends on Bama, to be brutally honest, because I don't think Bama will be able to get past Shane, because Shane will have much more grip coming out of the corners. Only maybe towards the end of the race where those hards are gonna be better. But in general, you don't want to be on the hards on this game. So it's really hard to predict. And don't rule out Tichy and Marina were on softs. Although they can't make it till the end, if there is another safety coming out and they can make up some ground now, they are in for possibly the win as well. So it's still all to play for here.
Yeah, because the soft is definitely not going to be able to make it. I mean, they did 14 laps on those softs, mainly on heavy fuel, but I can't see them doing 20 laps on the soft. So yeah, they're definitely going to stop again. If there is another safety car, then fair play. That's all you need. You always need a good safety car restart to get the adrenaline pumping. People try and take advantage, getting some places, do a little bit more risks, a few more risks rather. Now Shane is trying to stay with the safety car. He's not. I wonder if he'll just bomb it as soon as the safety car, when the safety car does hit. I know it's not doing it this lap, but I wonder whether, sometimes it's one thing slowing everyone down, but sometimes just doing something completely unorthodox catches people out more, I think, sometimes. Everyone expects you to slow down, really, and then just bomb it between turns, like the last 2 turns. But I guess we've got one more lap under the safety car, so yeah, again, it saves Shane's tyres.
Steve is in the chat, he says last 2 EU4 races have been won on the hard straight. Come on, Thomas. Yeah, but EU4 is mayhem, mate, and I don't see it anywhere else, so I will stick to my comment saying that hard is definitely not the way to go. What I wanted to say as well is the race got saved for Stoospo and Stumpy, really, because it was looking like Stumpy's race was over and done with after those 2 spins on lap 1 and on lap 5 or lap 6 or 7, something like that. But yeah, he's back in the race now. He is at the back of this safety car field. Yeah,
I'm surprised that he's gone on the soft tyre.
Same.
I don't know why he's done that, because he started on the soft. It's not like he has to pick this tyre. He could have just gone the medium. So that's the only thing, because then I think, well, at least he doesn't have to pit again. But he's obviously gone for screw it, I'm currently P16, let's try and be aggressive on the strategy.
Yeah, what can I lose?
Yeah. So here we go, restart.
Here we go, restart. When is Shane gonna go? If I was him, I would wait until the very end to make sure no one is gonna get past with the help of some slipstream. Well, I think Shane is gonna go, and Bama has been fully awake because he's not letting that orange McLaren go. With Jack in P3 and Jimmy James in P4, no collisions whatsoever. And Hasmania is definitely gonna lose out, and that's because of the Alpine of Liam, who he wasn't allowed to overtake under the safety car conditions, and that's why he is 1.1 seconds behind Jimmy James already. Ooh, here we've got Marina, and then there's 3 cars wide coming out of turn 3, and it is Blaze who's gonna be the big winner together with Danny Boy. They go side by side up towards turn 4. Who's gonna come out on top? It's gonna be Danny Boy.
Oh, the Mercedes!
Sygate is having a little bit of a look as well. Side by side they go, but it should be the corner for Blaze, and it is the corner for Blaze. Crucially for him, on those hards, up into P8. Looking like a solid race from his side. Oh, Bama.
Yeah.
Bama dropped down to P3. Did he make a mistake? Fortunately couldn't see it. But Jack got past for P2. Bama on those hards, Jack on those mediums. And now Jack will be looking to get past Shane as well in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, with those extra fresh tyres, it will make a difference. And pace-wise, very level, but Jack, P2 for P1 rather, for a long period of this race. Now looking to take back what he thinks is rightfully his.
Tichy and Hasmania, he cut turn 3 and he got a 3-second time penalty for it, and it's allowing Tichy to get past as well. So that's Tichy up now into P5. Or is Hasmania gonna come back? He was having a little bit of a look, but Tichy can break much later on those salts, and he's now up into P5 looking to close the gap to P4. Jimmy James on those mediums, and he knows Bama is on hards in that crucial last podium position. So it's looking like a very positive end of this race for Tichy as well. And hopefully for him, he can make it work. Jack still 3/10 behind IRL Shane, who will have DRS on the next lap. Yep, DRS enabled. So Jack will be looking to get past the McLaren on this lap. Oh, and it is to spell. We lost it in the last turn. So it's definitely not his race tonight.
Here goes Jack. Oh, having a little look. No, not this time. Oh, but I tell you who is making a look, Jamie James.
Oh, but here comes Jack. He's got a much better exit than Shane round the outside, and he's got it done before the braking zone. So that is a new race leader in Jack. He's got back his P1, which he had before the pit stops as well. And Bama is holding on to that P3, but he lost DRS now, so it's going to be even harder for him to stay in front of these guys behind. Jimmy James 7/10. Tichy closed in as well. Let's see Jack with the immediately fastest lap, but it's got taken away by Tichy of 106.0 it is now. And Tichy with the DRS is definitely not going to make a move on Jimmy James, as he's got DRS himself to Bama in front. Jimmy James still 7/10, and Shane is kissing the back of that Red Bull in P1. Ooh. Danny Boy and Asmania side by side on towards turn 4.
I got a very interesting helicopter view.
Oh, unfortunately I didn't. And that's Danny Boy up into P6.
Yeah, well, anyways, your view is better. I'm just looking on the Twitch now. Because mine ended up like it was a helicopter view that went then through the tree, so I couldn't see other views happen. Oh!
Ooh!
Danny went a bit wide there.
Yeah.
And we got a yellow because we have a Haas. Jack has spun. Jack Carty has spun. So he is well down now, and P15 almost lost it again. Those tyres overheated. It's people pushing out a little bit harder, and now you're starting to see the errors. It's so easy to do as those rears overheat.
Shane is able to keep up with the Red Bull in front, and it is allowing those two to get away from Bama. 2.1 seconds assist. Who himself is doing a brilliant job to keep Jimmy James behind, who is closing in ever so slightly, as Dan puts in a 105.9 for the fastest lap in this race on those mediums, while Tichy did it on the softs. So Dan seems to be having some really good pace on those mediums. We saw it in qualifying before, and we're seeing it in the race now. Unfortunately for him, he is all the way down in P15, and he won't get that extra point for the fastest lap. Danny Boy is dropping positions, and the corner where he went wide last lap is being his Waterloo this lap. As he drops down to P12, was going to be P13, and he goes into the pits to get rid of those mediums.
So this will be his final stop.
Jimmy James with a move down the inside of Bama. Here he goes. And now Tichy is gonna follow immediately as well. Side by side with the Mercedes he goes. They both get DRS. Who is gonna be the big winner? Oh, virtual safety car, and that's gonna save Bama, because he was definitely gonna lose that position. Tichy can brake so much later on those softs, much more grip. But Bama, because of the virtual safety car, stays in front, and he will be happy with that one.
Absolutely. Yeah, so the thing is, it's come at a time when no one was near the pits. So it could be a short VSC. People debating, but not in the front end. And green flag. Yeah.
Yellow flag. And Jack definitely has been awake. 7/10 it is between him and Shane. Shane still holds on to that crucial DRS. And Jimmy James now, can he hold on to that P3, or is Bamba gonna come back at him with the DRS and the slipstream? Down the inside he goes, and he gets back into P3, block pass, and Tichy is now trying to do exactly the same thing like he did on Bamba on the last lap, but he can't pull it off as Jimmy James goes for a move down the inside. Or is it gonna be Tichy, or are they gonna make it 3 wide? No, Tichy gets the job done. Tichy up into P4, really well done. Smart play by the Alfa Romeo driver, who is now looking to get past Bama for P3.
This is spicing up now. Look at this battle for P3. Oh, Bama. Oh, he's hit. Tichy's in the wall. Tichy's out. Oh, and that is surely going to be a safety car. It's a VSC. Bama.
Oh, it's turning to a safety car, yeah.
Wow. Drama. I just caught them all together. And I can't remember if it was Bama that lost it or Tichy did. And, yeah, it's crazy.
And I
Absolutely
think
crazy.
Shane is going to be very happy with this one, because I assume everyone is going to come in to put on a fresh set of softs and go till the end of the race. See, Jack and Shane, they can still go all out. Which Jack is really low on the ERS, it seems like. Yes, he is, 60%. That's not the percentage you want to be on. Shane has got much more ERS, but they can all save it up now on the safety car conditions. Are they gonna come into the pits, or is one of them gonna gamble to stay out? I wouldn't do so if everyone from P7 onwards has made their stop onto some fresh set of softs. Yeah, into the pits they go. So the leaders going into the pits as well. And it's going to be a sprint race until the end.
This is what we like, a nice sprint race to finish off an evening of contest speed racing. And I tell you what, these guys are all pitting now. So Jack, Shane, Bama, they're all going to pit. I mean, anyone who pitted the lap before, like Danny Boy's going to make up quite a few places from this.
Yeah, or is he? I don't think.
Yeah, because there's going to be people ahead. Oh no, he's not. Cause people
Yeah,
ahead
they're already coming out of the pits, and all of the other guys pitted already. Mania opted to stay out on those 2-lap old mediums. I understand why he did on one side, because those mediums are only 2 laps old, but he will be seeing the same thing as we're seeing as well. Everyone around him is on fresh softs, and that's definitely not going to help his race.
Nope. This is where it gets exciting. I mean, he's got the track position, but yeah, everyone else is literally, everyone's on softs, and Jack Carty is on 3-lap old softs, and yeah. So people even like 2Spell has a chance of getting points still after a terrible race, you know, having moments spinning. He still has a chance. Dan as well. Dan's trying to join up with the field. He'll have the time because we're going to go around for at least another lap.
This is the moment now where penalties are going to play a big factor in this race as well. We've got Shane on 3 seconds. Yeah, I don't think that it's gonna change much more in this race. So people who are clear of penalties now have to make sure they stay away from those white lines, because if they do so, they can gain massively. For example, Cygate, if he can stay in that DRS train, he will at least gain 3 positions from it just by keeping it clean. And Blaze as well in P5, he will definitely gain the position from Hasmania, if not the position from Shane as well, which will give him a podium in this race. They will know it, they will feel the pressure, but they're in a really good position, the guys without any penalties. The guys with penalties, they will be hoping for the race to be green flag all the way until the end, and hopefully for them, they can break away and gain at least 3 seconds to the cars behind, because otherwise they will drop down by a lot of positions.
Absolutely, safety car is in this lap.
With 8 more laps to go, we've got Jack in the lead, Shane in P2, Obama in P3. We go back to the tire situation. Everyone is on softs, apart from Hasmania, who's on mediums. When is Jack gonna release the field once again? We've had a safety car before, we've got a safety car now, and I think this is the moment where Jack is gonna go, but Shane is not gonna fall asleep. In fact, he is right behind the Red Bull to take advantage of it, and it seems like a very solid and clean safety car restart from the EU3 drivers.
Yeah, very good so far. Oh, Dan's got a 3-second time penalty. That'll add it to 6 seconds now. No DRS, obviously, for the first 2 laps.
No DRS, they have to do it on pure straight line speed. Hasmania is already 1.1 seconds behind Bama, so Blaze on those fresh softs will be looking to get past that AlphaTauri as quick as possible, but where is he gonna do it? It's going to be impossible for him to do it through sector 2, and Blaze is not really in the position to have a look. 6/10 it is, as Blaze is struggling himself. Top 3 is getting away as they start lap 30 or 36, with Jack putting in the fast lap of the race, 105.4. Shane following him in closely with Bama in P3 as well, who had a collision with Teacher, which caused the second safety car in the first place. And now he's having a little look on the McLaren, maybe going into turn 3. No, he thinks better of it. He's probably waiting for that DRS. The only problem is Shane will get DRS as well from Jack in front. These are the DRS straights we've been talking about, and everyone is gonna struggle with it. Blaze now 3/10 behind that AlphaTauri, still couldn't find his way past, and he's got Jimmy James and Sygate following him closely.
So, Jack now 6/10, DRS activated on this run now. Bama looking very good as well. Has done equally a very good job on those mediums. The guys on the softs haven't been able to get past him, and now that the DRS will be enabled now, this will be the game changer. And he's got a little bit of a train. Oh, Jack gets a penalty!
And Jack picks up 3 seconds, and Bama can actually see it. Bama now is the one who is in the net P1. If things stay the way like this. Oh, Jack goes deep into turn 1. Maybe Shane with the better exit. He's got the DRS enabled. Is he gonna get an opportunity to get past the Red Bull? He's having a look down the inside. Is he gonna brake later? No, he's not. He's gonna stay in that P2 for now.
Yeah, he's backed out.
Oh, Sygate and Blaze are battling it out. They're making contact. While Blaze stays in front. Yes, he does. He lost the position to Jimmy James, so he dropped down to P6, but he stays in front of Sygate in P7.
Illy dipping that curve. The amount of times he's done that and the back end swings out, unfortunately he's been able to recover and not hit a wall or go off track. Marina also all over the back of Illy right now.
Ooh, Jimmy James got past Hasmania for P4, but we have to focus on a battle for the lead with only 4 more laps to go. Shane with the DRS, is he gonna have a look down towards turn 3? Yes, he is. Late braking move from the McLaren, block pass it is. Although Jack is having a look round the outside now with the DRS and the better exit, should be able to get back in front. Who's gonna be one of the late breakers? It's going to be Jack, who is gonna remain in the lead. They're switching positions, but they're keeping it clean, and that is going to be the most important thing. But they know Bama behind is not on any penalties, so Bama for now will be the race winner. Let's see, Jack is trying to make a gap through sector. You can definitely tell he is running a little bit more downforce than Shane, but they are keeping each other honest, as we've got 4 more laps to go.
That's it now, it's getting now for Bama. Oh, it's that pressure. Jammy had a bit of a moment. Has That's
Oh,
unfortunate.
and here comes Shane.
Again, though, I think Jack is deliberately doing that so he gets the DRS. And he's just going to get past him again.
And Shane is not defending the inside, so Jack is allowing to get back past again. There he goes. They're making a little bit of contact, but Jack is back in front. And I think I have to agree, Lewis. I think he's doing it on purpose to make sure he gets in front through sector 2 and 3, and they can go again. But how many times or how many risks is Jack going to take? Because one single mistake is gonna cost you the opportunity to get past Shane. And Bama as well, he is finding it all good at the moment. He knows he is taking the race win as it stays like this.
Yeah, for Bama, he's just letting it chill. Those guys just do it. You battle out. Shane, yeah, Jack, the reason why I know is because I've done it in the past myself. If you think someone's going to go through, you let them through, so you get the DRS for the next bit, and then you repass them. It's a little trick that can work for you. Something you got to be on it. But look at the battle going on. P5 right now. It's mental. I just saw 3 wide into turn 3. Oh, Charlie's retired.
Yeah, Charlie's retired in the pits. He spun, and we've got Marina as well going slowly on straight. Alpine's not having a really good day. Blaze is the one having a really good day, and at the moment he's going to take P4 on penalty, so he will be happy with that result with his teammate in P7 as well. Williams are scoring some brilliant points in this race. But the battle we have to focus on is the battle for the lead, with only 2 more laps to go as we start lap 35 or 36, with Jack still in the lead, Shane following very closely behind, and Bama in P3. We've got all 3 guys, all podium runners in one camera angle, in one camera shot. When is Shane gonna make his move for what will probably be P2 in this race? He's gonna go for it now once again. Is it going to be 3rd time lucky, or is Jack gonna do exactly the same like he did on the last couple of laps? Shane is the one with the DRS now as he goes a little bit more towards the left, and Bama, I think, is the one now going for the move down the inside, side by side with the Red Bull. He goes down towards turn 6. Who's gonna come out on top? I think it's going to be Bama. Yes, so that's Bama up into P2. He's got Shane now in front with only 1.5 laps to go. Brilliant end to this EU3 race, and I still don't know who's gonna come out on top.
Well, Bama has way more energy left than the other 2. The other 2 have been battling it out. Oh, Bama runs a bit deep. You're getting yellows all over. What we don't want, Bama, is to get a penalty. But yeah, Bama, he's got all that energy. Dan gets another 3 seconds of penalties. Bama could get this on track here.
Oh, Shane picks up another penalty, so that means that Shane is definitely gonna lose out on penalties. And Bama now with the DRS, I think he wants to do it on track and not only with penalties. Down the inside he goes.
And he has DRS again.
And he will have the DRS. No, he won't.
Yeah,
is
Bama
it
does.
Shane with the DRS? Who's got DRS?
No, it's Bama.
On my screen he's not opening it.
No, he definitely
Oh,
didn't
and here
have
comes
it.
Jack with a move down the inside, so that's Jack up into P2. Shane losing 2 positions in 2 corners, but he knows he was gonna lose them anyway on penalties. And I think this is going to be the podium as it stands, but I think Blaze, look at Blaze by the way, is he gonna take P3 on penalties? I think he is.
Yeah, what a change for Shane, but what a drive from Bama.
Really good drive from Bama. He went onto the hard side stretch. He didn't pay off, but he's brilliant with his brilliant drive. He's going to take P1 in this race. Check P2. Shane is going to take P3. Jamie James P4. Well, Blaze, is he going to take it on penalties? Yes, he is. Blaze up into P3. Stumpy, brilliant comeback going into P5. And it's waiting for the last cars now to come across the line. Dan takes the crucial last point in this race. 2-spell P11, unlucky race for him. And the same goes on for Danny Boy and Liam. Well, I think Danny Boy is the one pushing for the quickest lap in this race. He put on a fresh set of softs. And is he going to take the fastest lap in this race? Through the last 2 corners he goes. Towards the line. Is he going to take the fastest lap? Yes, he is. No point. But still the fastest lap for Danny Boy.
What? That was actually quite an enjoyable finale there, and Blaze gets driver of the day. Not surprising. But yeah, Bama, top drive. He didn't have to risk it, but he was patient. He would have finished third if he wanted to. On track, he still would have won it overall, but he got the opportunity to pass Jack, and then he had so much more ERS. It was just easy for him on Shane in the end.
Yeah, he saved it all up, seeing the McLaren and the Red Bull in front of him battling it out. He knew he was gonna have them on penalties anyway, and he used all of his ERS to do it on track. Pure domination from Bama, who showed how it's done, and deserved victory coming from P11 on the grid. Really well done, with Jack in P2 and Blaze taking P3. Just about, because Shane picked up his second penalty on the last lap. Stumpy P5, Jimmy James P6, Saige P7, Healy P8, Hasmania P9, and then takes the final point in this race. Two-spell P11, Jack P12, Danny P13, Liam P14, Marina P15, Charlie P16, Tichy P17, Max P18, and K-Mark P19. Let's see, we're gonna invite everyone to the commentary box. I will probably have to invite Jack manually, as he's been a reserve. So let's see. People are slowly joining the commentary box. We can confirm, by the way, that Danny Boy picked up the fastest lap in this race with a 105.1. For some reason, I am not returning back to the lobby. You love to see it. So yeah, we will do the interviews on this screen, I guess. Guys, before we start with the interviews, make sure your audio is on allowed to be shared, and then we can start any minute.
Yeah. So have you got the race results up on your, or are you actually generally stuck? Oh yeah, you have got it.
Yeah, I've got the race results up. It's something else. Codemasters seem to never disappoint, don't they? But yeah, we're gonna start off with Blaze, as he finished P3. It's doing me an easy job now, because I can actually see who's in P3, P2, and P1. Normally I'm struggling with that one. Blaze, happy to interview you sometime. Normally I can only speak to you in the Twitch chat as you retired, or if you're not racing. But P3 for once. What is the feeling, mate?
Yeah.
How is it feeling?
It's so good. After like dreadful races, it's like finally doing something good.
Yeah, you had a really strong race, starting P15. How hard was it for you to keep it within the white lines and not picking up a penalty?
It wasn't actually too bad. I got one early on at like the penultimate turn, and then I just kept it in the white lines and then got the positions.
Did you know that Shane picked up that second time penalty, or was it a big surprise for you to see it at the end that you finished P3 instead of P4?
Literally on the last lap when I think Shane got past for third, and then I saw it was like 6.1, and then I was like, okay, I've got to go for it.
Yeah, really well done, mate. Congratulations on the P3. You did a really good job to stay clear of penalties. Coming from P15, you got driver of the day as well. So brilliant performance, really well done, and enjoy the P3.
Thanks. I will be happy to crash into the barrier at Monaco.
Yeah, it's going to be some brilliant entertainment already, I can tell you that one. Going to our P2 check, because that's probably that you couldn't take the victory, you picked up a penalty and you knew Bama was clear of any penalties. But how lovely was it to battle it out until the last lap? Or are you the person who is wishing for quite a relaxed race, just driving on your own? How hard was it?
No, I always prefer the wheel-to-wheel battles. They're way more fun that way. But yeah, the last few laps were really, really good. But I was kind of gutted about the last safety car because I did kind of ruin my race a little bit because I think Bama was on the hard tyres, so he had the option to go to the softs for the end. Yeah, but yeah, no, it was really fun towards the end, to be fair.
Yeah, me and Lewis were wondering if it was a decision, well, or if you did it on purpose, letting Shane go through after turn 3 to get him on the back straight going into turn 4, or was it just him going for the move and you're just letting him making that move?
Yeah, I was slowing down quite a bit towards, yeah, on the hill so I can get the DRS for the last straight.
Yeah, smart play. And at the end of the last lap, you decided to get past Shane. Was that pure for pride because you knew he had the 6 seconds?
Yeah, I actually didn't see. I only thought he had a 3 second. I didn't see the sticks. So yeah, that's why I thought I needed to get him.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Really strong racing, mate. You've been in the lead pretty much all race. Unfortunately, because of that penalty, you took P2, but still a really strong performance. I think Profotis will be proud you took his seat.
Nah, cheers, mate.
And then going on to our race winner, Bama. First of all, congratulations. You went on to the hards in the first place. Me and Lewis were saying it was definitely a strategy that could work out, but then safety car came out. You get the clean and took the victory. How close were you on picking up a penalty?
Well, I actually, the medium start was good because I could stick in the DRS at the start of the race, and then I saw the virtual safety car came out and get a free pit stop. But yeah, the end was very tense. I had no warnings actually after the safety car, so I could have sent the track a little bit if I wanted to. I ended up picking a warning up lap 35 out of turn 1, and then that was my only warning.
Fair enough. That's some brilliant performance. What happened between you and Tichy? Do you know what happened? Why he lost it just before the pit entry?
Right there, we came out of turn 8. I don't know if that's the right turn, but he was on the fresh softs. He had the grip. I went to the edge of the track just to leave him room, and apparently he understeered into my side pod and got auto spawned.
Ah, okay. Fair enough. That's a really unfortunate incident then. But yeah, it made sure that everyone was on a softs and it was a sprint race until the end. Same question for you as I asked Jack. Was it just pure pride that you wanted to overtake those guys on track instead of finishing P1 on penalties, or were you just not gonna take the risk and wanting to finish in P1 anyway?
Yeah, I really wanted to win on track, and I think I sat behind them for about 6 laps, 7 laps, and they were wheel banging every single time in the turn 3, so I was waiting for my moment to get Jack, and gladly I got him out of turn 4. And then I got Shane on the last lap, I'm pretty sure, and then got the DRS for the next straight, so that was pretty helpful.
Yeah, it was really well planned out, really good strategy, and a really good victory at the end. Congratulations on the P1, mate. Really well done, and yeah, 25 points in the bag.
Thank you.
That rounds off the interviews for today and the stream for today as well. Congratulations once again on the podium finishers and everyone who scored points. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you, Lewis, for joining the commentary box with me. It was a pleasure as always.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. Yes. Yeah, thank you, and congratulations to everyone, particularly the top 3. And look forward to where are we racing next week?
Monaco.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Love it. Can't wait. Monaco. Well, I've got Austria still tomorrow, but yeah, looking forward to it then.
Yeah, same for me, but Monaco is definitely going to be a very interesting race. Like I said, thank you all for watching, and as I always say, have a good one, stay safe, and goodbye.